Oh, that was vicious. Yeah, Mrs. Tweed wrestled me out of my workshop coat. She said it was disgusting, needed a wash. Yeah, I know, Jenkins. So, don't know what to do. Can't get mucky. Oh, I know. We'll go and visit somewhere. Hello, welcome to Tweed's Garage. In this video, we're not doing any work in the workshop or in the garage. No, we're not dressed for it. We're in our clothes. We'd spoil them, get told off by Mrs. Tweed. So instead, you can come along with me on a little field trip. Yeah, we're going to go down New Forest to Sammy Miller's Motorcycle Museum, where they claim they have over 500 motorcycles. So we shall see. So we'll go down there. We're not going down a motorcycle because it's perishing cold and it was icy all around, so we're not going to risk it. We're going to take the mighty Micra down because there's a possibility of picking up some Facebook Marketplace treasures, which I might show you at the end if you stop fidgeting and behave yourselves. So here we go. Cross the courtyard. Follow me. I've got the umbrella. On your left hand side, Sammy Miller's restoration workshop, where him and his staff carry out the restoration work on all the bikes in the museum. And here we have one of Sammy Miller's favourite aerial trials bikes leaning up outside. You know you're in for a treat when you walk in the door and you've got a Morgan Suzuki GT Jawa Ice Speedway bike and a James freewheel delivery van. The centre of the museum, where you've got rows of motorcycles to the right and to the left of you. There's a first floor above most of the exhibit halls, so sort of double the amount you first think that there is there. You've got a brace of Indians, you've got a Scout, a Chief and an inline 4. A Humber flat twin, and to the rear of that, this lovely AJS inline 4. As well as the museum exhibits, there's fine items you can purchase. Second-hand bookshelves as well, which has a good selection, which I did partake and purchase a couple. A row of Vela sets, starting with the LE and a Thruxton, and a brace of KTT racers and specials. Looking fine in their black and gold livery. Bond motorcycle, built by the Bond Aircraft Company, all made out of aluminium with a Villiers engine. Sunbeam S7 with the fat tyres, one of my favourites. And then a couple of Panthers, 35 and a 65. Unusual compared to the old Sloper 600. And no Indian would be complete without its tassels. And behind the Chief you've got a couple of EMCs, very unusual, British bikes. Split twin, 2-cylinder, very much like the Pooches of the time. And not only does he have these, he has sort of a rare racing version of them as well. And then a brace of lightweight offerings from the British motorcycle industry of the time, most with Villiers engines. And a few Nortons, Royal Enfields, and in the centre, Vincent Gray Flash, Vincent Rapide, and a Vincent Comet. And an HRD version behind that. And along with the head of its time, fully enclosed Vincent Black Prince. Heading back from that, you pass the NSU Sportsmax 250, actually ridden by Sammy Miller back in the day. The hand-formed racing tank and fairing. The collection of racing bikes is staggering, with some real rare ones like this Mondial with fully enclosed body, MV4, this Linto, built by Italian engineer Lino Tonti. Then a lightweight MV125 racer, overhead cam, gear driven. Motor Guzzi inline V-twin, followed by the Dondolino horizontal single, the old bacon slicer flywheel, and the little Gambalunga at the end, the name used for the Motor Guzzi Club GB's club magazine. And they just go on and on. Harley Davidson Air Mackeys, Perillas, Yamahas, classic T2s, looking resplendent in the white with a red stripe bodywork. Bianchi, Yamaha TZ 4-cylinder, and then the smaller Yamahas up on the top, and a Sealy G50. Here's a closer look inside the Mondial bodywork. The Spondon with their own engine in, and this dual-like Suzuki 4-cylinder 125, allegedly 40 horsepower plus at over 16,500 RPM. That'd set your teeth on edge. Beautiful Gilera 4-cylinder racer, predates the MVs. And we have even more racing bikes on the other side with this rare AGS V-twin overhead cam. Who says anything is new? And then some of the European offerings on the lighter weight races, FB or Mondial. And then again, this is this EMC racer. Looks like it's got a supercharger on the front of it. DKW, they'd make your ears bleed. And then the AJS classic 7R boy racers. And the matchless G50, all with their distinctive gold covered timing case. Greaves racer. And then the rather heavy Harley Davidson XR 750 racers. Saw these in the 90s, I think, Battle of the Twin races. They done quite well when they could stay on. And here we have one of quite a few home-built special 4-cylinders or multi-cylinders. This is a Fruin 200cc made from NSU Quickly parts, as you can see by the barrels and cylinder heads. Some nice machining work and intricate throttle linkage arrangements going on. The odd BSA MC1 racer. And Reg, we all know Reg. And a 4-cylinder Jawa. Oh, the Queen's arrived. Oh no, it's just the pipes on the AJS 4-cylinder V4. Again, who said anything was new? And some lovely Excelsior Manxmans. The racing bikes of these era always look superb. One of my personal favourites, the Husqvarna 500. The minuscule 50cc racers with the Kreidler pretty much the tool to beat. faster than your average Fanny Bee, our Honda Dream, and many more. And another EMC. Never really heard of them till recently. A huge range of BSA's offerings of the period. All in really nice condition. Right back to the early V-twin and sloper. And a personal favourite, an early Sunbeam. And a Bantam and a Beaver. What could have been? We've got the Norton Corner, some of the earlier bikes, and the later Rotary. One of many speedway bikes that Sammy Miller's got in the museum. And then the early Cammy Nortons. A couple of Trials Nortons as well, along with a Manx Norton at the end. A couple of Dominators. And the Interceptor, and then the two of the Neela Racers. And you think they've got something exotic hidden away, but when you look behind the fairings and tanks, especially this one, there's just the Manx Norton engine hidden below everything. The frame on this one's more like a sort of spondon frame going from the headstock downwards, a bit like the Sealy G50. All around the museum, on shelves above the motorcycles, are collections of engines and paraphernalia. In this cabinet, some lovely scale models of some of the earlier Pioneer motorcycles. The detail on that, even down to the wicker chair on the front. We've got a gallery of road bikes, sort of before the war. All British bikes, now names all sadly no more. So we'll just have a little wander around here, take it all in. Oh look, there's one that Mr. Brackett doesn't own. Best not tell him. How about this one, the Red Up Radial, with a 3-cylinder radial engine, sort of horizontal. Madness, sheer wonderful madness. And a nice selection of early flat tankers, got V-twin, transverse and inline. We've got some auto cycles, a lot with drop down frames. Something for the ladies, sir. Be able to ride them with your spats on. Who doesn't love a tin or an acetylene lamp? Match has also proven they dabbled with inline twins, Silver Hawk. Lovely James Supersport V-twin 4-stroke before they went down the 2-stroke route, and a Triumph Silent Scout. I bet it isn't. More early period flat tankers. I do love them, but they don't come up on Facebook Marketplace very often. Exotic Minerva, 1898. A nice selection of early Rudges. And a Rudge Whitworth, not just satisfied with making spanners. And an FN from the continent. A little collection of Scots. I did go around with the camera and take some detail shots for getting mine up and running. Done out, Francis Barnett. And the Cottons. Cottons are a nice looking bike as well. Sports bikes of this era always look like they were going fast when they're standing still. And a later Minerva, 1910, nearly modern. A few dispatch bikes from the Second World War. And then we wander into the Italian section. This is a new section, not long been added. Homebrewed 4-cylinder racer. And here's another one, 2614. Not sure if it's made of, looks sort of like Matobi's, something like that, maybe. One for Dad, MV175. Classic Ducati 900 Supersport. MV750 Sport. A beautiful jelly bean tank Ducati. Benelli's impressive across the frame 6-cylinder, which personally I always think is better looking than the Honda offering. There's one of them here as well. The classic Motor Guzzi V8, outdoing everybody with pistons and carburettors all tucked in there, a work of art. I remember going to the Motor Guzzi Museum in Mandello dell'Ero, which is at the factory, which is really good if you ever get the chance to go. But I happened to go with my friend Chris and we were walking around, and there was a V8 race without the fairing, just leaning against the workshop wall because they'd all gone off to lunch, just casually leaning there, waiting to be fettled when the guys came back. It was a fantastic scene. Some of the smaller capacity Italian bikes on the outside wall. Mondials, Gileras. And then on the top, some of the 50cc Minarellis. And the lovely item Supersport. A few more flat tank era vintage bikes and an early Wooler. and a late Wooler, and a few 4.5 Douglases up on the shelf. Yeah, I would like to find one of them in a barn. How about this? 2-wheel drive motorcycle, anybody? I smell hospital food. A Scott Speedway bike. Along with the infamous Jap and another Rudge Whitworth. And the Douglas tucked behind it. Not forgetting the Triumphs, all you Triumph nuts out there. And another couple of missed opportunities by Triumph. And there's the man himself, checking out the museum. The Scott 1000cc 3-cylinder. And for you engineers out there, this was the Zenith, and this is the mechanism that you turn. And if you follow the crank and the shaft along, and then we go down the chains. It's an early CVT transmission. So that turns a shaft on each side of the swing arm, which turns a screw, which pulls in the rear wheel axle supports, moves them backwards and forwards. This moves the wheel backwards and forwards, which allows the sprung pulley at the front, allows the belt to move in and out like a CVT on a DAF car. Same sort of system as the Bridgeport Mill actually for changing the speed. You turn the handle and it moves the cones out, changes the speed setting. And then another couple of 4-cylinder specials built using Austin 7 engines as the base with custom made barrels and cylinder heads by Bob Collier. Apparently run very well. This is full of all his favourite trials bikes. European and Japanese section, starting with the massive Munch Mammoth, another car engine special. These use the NSU 4-cylinder engine with an Electron back wheel, Victoria V-twin, and then oh look, an Adler 250. I might have one of them in the garage. I'll have to dig it out sometime. Followed by NSU, Horrocks, Mako Typhoon, BMW, and then some of these funky 50cc air-cooled mopeds of the period. This is a Victoria. Classic Honda 6, but as I said, not as good looking as the Benelli. I think the Benelli had twin duplex drive chain as well. It's at this point you suddenly realise his claim that there are over 500 motorcycles in his collection to be actually true, and I think you need another coffee by then. One of Alan Millard's V-twin Honda 100s. Be interested to know how he'd done the timing on those and the camshafts, and a few early Hondas up on the top. Along with a Bridgestone that were meant to be very good, better than some of the other offerings at the time. I think they sold tyres to the other manufacturers and the deal was done, they'd stop making motorcycles and keep making tyres. What's that, sir? 2 levers not enough for you? How about the Quadrant with its 5 levers? yeah, I think that'll keep you busy. A few more engines. Spare parts, anyone? And then a little corner for aerials, model lines, starting with the leaders, the square fours, and some of the trials machines as well. Some earlier period flat tankers up on the shelf. And even more flat tankers. Very nice little Bianchi. And a rotary Verdal, even madder than the 3-cylinder one we saw earlier. And another fine Excelsior with the classic Jap V-twin. 4-cylinder Henderson. A few Sound Story singles. There's a few of these in my dad's collection. And a nice little collection of spark plugs. And a complete Cucciolo. Spare parts. And lastly, another homemade inline 4. But a stunning museum and some yeah, stunning motorcycles. You just can't take it all in. So I think it's a definite multi-visit museum to try and absorb it all. And yeah, hats off to Sammy Miller for collecting this lot. There you go, Jenkins, fresh out of the tumble dryer, laundry fresh, lovely. Oh, there you are. Well, there you go. That's the Sammy Miller Motorcycle Museum down in the New Forest. And well, I was impressed, and we were down there pretty much most of the day, and I still think we missed stuff, you know, so it's definitely worth another visit. And I think he does a little loyalty card, you know, so if you go down there a few times, I don't know what you get, but I did see little loyalty cards, so worth going down there. Or you know, take the good lady or good husband or whatever down to see the ponies, and yeah, just sort of happened to accidentally go past it, so go in for a visit. And the cafe's really nice, and it's quite popular. There's, you know, there's people that just go just to visit the cafe, so lots to do down there, lots to keep you amused. The standard of the machines there is, yeah, museum standard. Sammy and his team, you know, really do magic on them, and they're stunning. And I think they're all runners. I know Sammy pulls them out, you know, special weekends, and some of the bikes come out and they get ridden. So, you know, they're not trailer queens or whatever they call them. They are all working. So yeah, and it's given me a little bit of a sort of kick up the bum to try and get the Scott running, because I think in July one of the weekends is a 2-stroke weekend. So yeah, it'd be nice to get the Scott up and running, and a nice little, you know, ride down to the New Forest and down to the museum for a sort of meander around. So yeah, so that's sort of given me the sort of kick up the bum I need to get on with that. So yeah, so I think that'll do you. I was going to show you sort of my Facebook Marketplace purchase. Well, this was one of them, but time's marching on. So yeah, 6 to 12 inch Mitutoyo micrometer set with all its standards. So yeah, really nice. So we'll pop that in the measuring drawer. Not used that often, but yeah, handy when you need it. So yeah, there you go. So that'll do you. And as usual, you know, give us a like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, blah de blah. See you next time. All right, Cheerio. What's that, Jenkins? Your lemon dungarees? Yeah, I think Mrs. Tweed's doing them now. Oh, that was vicious. What's that, Jenkins? Car. 6 to 12 inch Mitutoyo vernier. So, don't know what to do. Can't get mucky. Oh, I know.